We are in kind of the Lincoln district of Tacoma at 869 41st Street. It's a fourplex. They're all 2 beds, 1 bath. Interesting history on this. I've been watching this one last year about this time. They came on the market at $950. They ended up in October of last year around $750 or $799, sorry. So $800. They came down $150,000 between April and October. Then they came back late in October for 3 months to try $800 again, $799, $999, didn't sell. And now they've come back to market a few months later. We are almost in May of 2025. And they're trying now for $899, $999. So I'm not sure why they think they're gonna get another $100,000 now when it didn't sell last year for $100,000 less, other than they tried to, it just smells like lipstick on a pig kind of remodel. I hate to say it, but coming up, Rebecca, we'll come on in. So it does have a nice little entry. This building was built in 1909. You have 1 bedroom right here, right off the entry, and you have your 2nd bedroom. You need to show them. You can show them this one. They have 2nd bedroom, so they're kind of back to back. It's not the most ideal thing in the world when you think about sharing a wall with 2 bedrooms for obvious reasons. And then here's this tiny little living room, kitchen, full bath. But again, just pointing out the things that they obviously they kept the cabinets. They just painted and put new hardware on. This is really cheap for microcrep. It looks like it has stain and stuff. So they just kind of kept that because it's probably in okay condition. And then you do have room for a full washer dryer, side-by-side washer dryer, which is nice. And then a door that goes out to the back to the parking lot, which is actually pretty nice too. Okay, that was unit 2, and I'm guessing unit 1 is an exact carbon copy of that, just flipped, right? Because it's the same level everything. This is nice. Got nice fire extinguisher, mailboxes. Really like this actually. I'd like to point out the good things too. This nice wide stairway. Why is it nice? Because when tenants are moving their couches and beds and furniture out, they're not banging and beating up the walls as much. So this is very nice. It's carpeted. I would maybe consider a vinyl strip down the middle for wet shoes and things like that, because that carpet's not gonna last, not in the Northwest. This is unit 4. Different floor plan, come right into the kitchen and bathroom, laundry there. I'm sorry, laundry here. Again, these same cabinets like we saw downstairs. So, you go to rehab a unit, and I don't know if I would have chinsed out over this little bit of cabinet space, counter space, sorry. They reuse the same cabinets. They put carpet in this one, probably for sound, I'm guessing for downstairs. But this one feels a little more cozy. Rebecca and I both agree this feels a little more homey with the carpet, and then the bedrooms there. So I'm guessing that unit 3 is an exact carbon copy of this as well, just flipped the other way. And it is nice that you have full washer and dryer setups here, but it'd be better if you could probably provide them for the tenants, because in an affordable 2-bed, 1 bath in Tacoma, this part of Tacoma, most tenants are not gonna be able to afford their own washer and dryer. So there you go. Okay, so we're outside now in the exterior of this property, and like every big city, Tacoma has its good parts and its rougher parts. And this is kind of an up and coming area. This particular block in this part of East Tacoma actually isn't that bad. It's very homey feeling. There's a lot of properties that have been maintained or updated, so that's really good to see. This building was 1908. I almost guarantee you it's still galvanized pipe. 1909 or 1908. Guaranteeing that it's still galvanized pipe plumbing. And when we look at the fixture here, I can pretty much see that it's still galvanized. This concrete was poured though in 1993, so that's good. It's not super old. It does have drainage out here. These are things to kind of look at, because you don't want water flowing into this probably crawl space storage area. This is the stairway that goes up to unit 2 that I mentioned. Exterior doesn't look too bad. Again, it looks like it was a quick kind of rehab job. We can just tell when things are spray painted a certain way and when they just put new hardware on the existing cabinets. But this is good. Off-street parking. It's a corner lot. And the fence, there's no tagging. That is a great sign. We don't see any graffiti. The only eyesore is we got a little bit of unkept neighborly property here and stuff, but other than that, I mean, it's the city, so you kind of have to roll with some of that stuff. All right, I will run some numbers for you to see, so stay tuned in just a minute. All right, I promise you numbers, and here are the numbers. This is the property on 41st, the fourplex that I hopefully you noted. This came out at 950 last year. It came down to 799 by the end of, I don't know, October or so. Then they put a little lipstick on this and put it back up at 900 again. So we are going to look at these. This is the snapshot, and the price is $899. I ran at 844. And with 30% down, and it still struggles. Of course, it's going to struggle because there's 2 vacant units, by the way. Looks like they're getting a little bit of rub, so I doubled that if you had all the units filled. And I assumed if you can get 1475 on the one that's month to month, you should probably at least keep them at that and get the other one rented on the same side, probably for a little bit more. But I want to be very conservative right now because rents have been really flat the last, I don't know, 4 to 6 quarters. They're ticking back up, but we need to be very cautious about what we project. And you can see that, until you get the 2 units ready, you're going to probably be bleeding about 2,500 a month. This is for a self-managed property as well. And then once you get it fully leased up, your vacancy is probably going to be down a lot less than this once you get them filled. But it still doesn't look great. It pencils, but it's only about a 2% cash on cash. And you're paying pretty much at about a 6 cap, which, I think for this property should probably be a little bit under this, even 844. Check on Renometer. I see that 2 beds in the area, realistically are probably in the 1,500 range. And I do think that's probably achievable, especially with the 2 updated units. But again, we don't want to overpromise, under-deliver with clients here. And so we're trying to be conservative. And, the only thing I'd be concerned about is if you're not going to manage it yourself. It's in Tacoma, and that will even add a lot more if we go over here and put about 8% in to the numbers. And now you're barely going to break even with putting close to $300,000 down on the deal, which is, not good. But such is the case with many properties, and I'm guessing this one will still sit until they drop the price. It needs to be, in my opinion, probably needs to be under 850 at this point. Rebecca and I were not very impressed with the rehab work that was done. And, being an older property too, you probably have, I know I looked at one panel, definitely older panels. They're not defective products like Zinsco or Federal Pacific, but, you probably still have galvanized pipe in a lot of it as well. So there you have it. That's the snapshot. Trying to be very conservative on that appreciation too. Some people wanted me to project appreciation, even though we've had double digits for a long time. In the Pacific Northwest, 4% is probably fairly reasonable at this point. All right, I hope that's helpful. Thanks for watching.